I was thinking, because I was wondering, do you guys know about this guy, Andy Ogle? He's a representative from Tennessee. Here's the deal with this guy. He posted a meme talking about deporting Zohan Mamdani after he won the New York City mayor campaign for the Democratic primary. And then he said he sent a letter to Pam Bondi, the Justice Department, and for her to look into revoking his citizenship. He's a citizen, obviously, for many years, to look into revoking his citizenship and deporting him. Which I thought that was interesting, because this is a guy I would like. How did I hear his name before? I was thinking, here's some of the controversies that this guy has been involved in. He lied about loaning his campaign $320,000. He is currently being investigated by the Justice Department for that. He's gone full MAGA in the interim in an attempt to get him to drop those charges. The FBI got involved in August of 2024. He misrepresented his degree. He said he had a degree in economics. It turned out he had taken one economics class in community college. So I'm more of an expert than him on economics, because I have a minor in economics. He has been often been compared to George Santos for all the lying that he did. Yes, this was my favorite. He had a GoFundMe. He had a GoFundMe for a children's burial garden. It raised $25,000, but they've never provided any accounting for where that $25,000 went. He just kept it or something. That's a good one. In February 2024, in reference to Hamas, he said we should just kill them all. I think that's probably not controversial in the Republican Party. He is certainly an election denier from 2020. He said that non-citizens do not have constitutional rights, which most certainly they do. And here's the thing, and I say this, I've said this in multiple videos before. They do have rights. The founding fathers knew what the difference between citizenship and human being was. Person. They knew that, and they said person specifically. People, we've known what the term citizen is since Aristotle was talking about what it meant to be a citizen of Athens 2,000 years ago, or whenever he allegedly lived. So here's the thing about Andy Ogle. Okay, it's always these guys projected. It's always this guy has no business being in Congress. The only reason he's in Congress is because in 2022, Tennessee Republicans gerrymandered Nashville into 3 different congressional seats. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get elected. They literally made a bright red sea for him. And this is another problem with the primary system in the United States, okay? Let's talk about the primary system in the United States and why that's so bad. What we find ourselves is, as these states gerrymander, and we're a victim of it here in Kentucky. Kentucky votes Democrat. We have a Democratic governor, 2-term, overwhelmingly popular, would win again today, just won a year ago. We only have 1 Democratic congressman in Kentucky, and he's out of Louisville. He is an amazing guy. I was trying to get him to run for Senate, but his name escapes me right now. I just woke up. We'll come back to it. I'll do a video on him. He should run for Senate. I think he's the only one who can really win. But the Democrats only have 1 congressional seat in Kentucky out of 7. The Republicans have the other 6. In voting terms, that would make you think that Kentucky votes 90% Republican. And that's not true. It's not true. 35 to 40% in a standard election is what the Democrats are going to get in a federal election. In a state election, Democrats certainly get more than that. Almost half every time. you know. And if you look at like the last 6 the last 6 governorships, it was Democrats most of the time because of Andy's dad, Steve Beshear. My point here is that here's the problem. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. This is a very blue city. Voted for Andy Beshear with 72% of the vote, and Kamala Harris with 57% of the vote. And yet we're represented by Andy Barr. I don't know if you know who Andy Barr is. He's basically Andy Ogle. There's like a bunch of Andys in Congress who are just horrible MAGA superstars. They are barely literate people who probably own like a pizza place or just found... I don't know, like this George Santos crowd that's popped up recently. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like a trainer and conspiracy theorist who made it to Congress. Or like Lauren Boebert owned a restaurant. And somehow Lauren Boebert had to move from her seat in Colorado to the Greeley area because she was going to lose re-election in a deep red place because people hate her. She just moved to a more red part of Colorado and ran the primary when Ken Buck left. So the issue that I'm getting to with these primaries, okay, the issue is that you have to be the furthest left or the furthest right in the primary. And then by the time you get out of the primary, it doesn't matter. Your seat is so gerrymandered. There's so few actual competitive seats. They're so gerrymandered. At any given time, you probably have 40 competitive seats that can swing in a bellwether year anyway. So these guys are coming so ideologically driven out of their primary. They're so ideologically driven out of the primary, and they don't come back to the center. Like it used to be, you would have your candidates, they would be very progressive or very right-wing in the primary. They come out, they moderate their position to the middle, and then they run a centrist campaign. But now they just run as a psycho the entire time. They don't care. They've been gerrymandered. They can't possibly lose. Your seat's not competitive. Andy Ogles, we know. I mean, nobody's going to primary him to the right. He's a lunatic. He has to kiss Donald Trump's ass because he could go to jail if he doesn't. And you think they're not blackmailing Andy O? They don't have to blackmail him because he's such a bootlicker. But do you think that if they needed his vote on something and he was against it, they wouldn't just come to him and be like, hey, we're going to indict you, bud. You were committing campaign finance fraud? And what do you think he'd do? He'd get to lick and boot. He's not trying to go to jail. He's not trying to have the lawyer fees. And you know, the problem that it creates when you have these gerrymandered congressional seats and these gerrymandered state and house seats is you end up in a position where you have, like in Kentucky, if it wasn't for the protections of the federal government, we'd have a religious autocracy here. Based on the gerrymandering, we'd be running a religious autocracy. And it looks like the federal government's really not that interested in protecting the rights of non-white Christian nationalists. So I'm not entirely sure where this country goes. But what was the Supreme Court decision today, which bans nationwide injunctions? So now you have to join into a class. If tomorrow Donald Trump signed an executive order saying abortion's illegal, if he did that, every state would have to have their attorney general buck up to him over it. Or you would have to join a class action lawsuit. A judge just can't say, hey, that's crazy. And you just wonder along the way here. And listen, to my Republican friends on the other side, that's cute right now. That's hella cute right now. But wait till AOC is president. And all college student loans. That was the biggest thing they hate. In the Biden administration, what did they hate the most? Student loan forgiveness. My God, now we're talking about plainclothes officers scooping people up off the street, refusing to identify themselves. We're talking about bombing Iran. We're talking about tariffs, the largest tax increase in American history. Anyway, that's the 10-minute episode. We'll get you next time on the next 10-minute episode. This is the McDaniel Report.